father's wife. And his brother, who was always jealous of him, led the father to see what was going on. But the Duke was anyway tired of his wife. She was very greedy for money, as well as her mother's.
You have some charming ancestors.
I don't know what these rooms were for, or who used them. My grandfather, the old prince, used to say that a house of which one knows every room is not worth living in. The last member of the family to live here was my uncle, Alfonso. He had to move out because he was being poisoned. Not by a person, but by bits of gold leaf falling from the ceiling into his coffee cup. It was found to contain arsenic. Come. This is how they spent the money that might have come to me. One of the princes from the last century spent everything he had on staging commedia, in which he always starred.
It would take Mr. Vervis millions to fix this up. Fortunately, he has them.
Yes. Are you really going to Baden-Baden? Why on earth Baden-Baden?
Some kind people kindly asked me. Wish I could go home.
But you can't stand America for more than 5 minutes.
It has the merit of being very far away from you. And your fiancé.
You know what I'd really like for you?
You'd like me to get married too. What sort of person do you have in mind for me?
Someone good and kind and clever. And rich.
Will you help me find this magnificent husband? Someone to make me forget you.
No, there is no choice. I have no money.
I don't care. Please don't do this.
Charlotte! Charlotte!
I can't believe it. Fanny, it's too good to be true. Charlotte is here in London. When did she come? I thought she was in Baden. And she's with you at this very moment? But I have to see her at once. Fanny, dearest, please. Of course. I insist. Thank you, dearest. Bless you. It's too wonderful. Charlotte has come for our wedding. Americo, you'll meet Charlotte.
I always liked Charlotte. With all your friends at school, I thought she was the best for you.
Imagine, here was this splendid, noble girl who knew every language in every country in the world. And here was this creeping little American thing, terrified out of my wits. She made me her friend. What are you looking at?
Something unique. It's a very handsome present from our bridegroom.
It's interesting for me because it shows the ancestor after whom I'm named, Amerigo. This Amerigo sailed in the wake of Columbus and somehow managed it that the new continent was named after him, not Port Columbus. And ever since, in every generation, one son in the family is called Amerigo. Amerigo.
Well, now you must do something for me, my dear, grand Americo. Go and bring Charlotte. She's staying with the Assinghams, but of course she has to stay with us. Will you? Bring my friend.
See.
I don't feel it's fair for me just to give you a push and let you go.
Let me go. You're not letting me go. You and Amerigo are only moving next door, practically. The Carlton House Terrace.
But now it will be he and I and you alone. We've lost our symmetry.
Symmetry. Is it your wish, then, to keep it? I had better get married, too?
Well, if you did, I'd understand. I certainly would. And I'd know that it was my fault.
Your fault? Oh, come here, my darling. You're such a silly, silly girl. Do you know, the English would call you absurd. In an American city, what would we call you? You know the words. Talking through your hat. Yes. Talking through your hat.
You did a wonderful thing for him, Fanny. I mean it. If I had to choose a wife for her, Maggie is perfect. In herself, of course. And of course in her father. It was wonderful of you to introduce them.
Well, I want to do something wonderful for you too, Charlotte. You can't spend your whole life being a guest in other people's houses. You're made for a grand life, not a poor one. You're not a poor person, Charlotte.
All the same, that's what I am. Poor. You've never told Maggie
That you and the prince knew each other. Well, haven't we all decided it's for the best? That everyone should have a fresh start.
fresh start.
I was telling the Prince, all we hear about nowadays is him in the coming great event. My dear chap, we all have to go through it.
Fanny will take care of me.
Oh yes, Fanny takes care of everyone.
So it's all right.
It's more than all right.
See, you're not rid of me.
I'm glad you've returned to us.
Oh, I couldn't miss Maggie's wedding.
You mustn't miss anything.
And Baden-Baden was just too beastly. All those hotels and people in them, and the shops full of the most vulgar, awful things. Pink shoes and umbrellas to match.
A lot of rubbish that no one in their right mind would ever want to buy.
Exactly. I had to leave because I couldn't find anything good enough to give Maggie for a wedding present. You must help me find something, Prince. I know from our days in Rome how you can bargain.
Yes, in Rome, with my poor old Romans, but in London I'm not so effective.
There's nothing here she could wear.
Is there anything that you could wear?
Are you offering me a gift?
Would you take it?
If I did, what should I do with it?
Wear it.
And if I did, would I go home and show it to Maggie as your present?
Why in the world not?
This is what I came back for. To be with you as we used to be in our days in Rome.
Charlotte, why are you saying this?
I have to.
You must not.
I want to say it. I want you to know that I came back for us to be together one more time before what you're going to do. I'm not asking anything from you. What am I asking? An hour or two, no more.
Yes, an hour or two to buy a present for your friend.
I had to come. I missed you so much. I thought my heart...
You like it?
Do you like it?
What is it?
It's cut out of a single perfect crystal.
Perfect.
I can promise you that you'll never find any joint or any piecing together.
Even if I were to scrape off the gold?
I'll wait for you outside.
You couldn't scrape the gold off. It's been put on by some very old process.
Is there something the matter with it? It's to be a present for a friend, and if it has a flaw, I must know what it is.
Your friend would never find a flaw.
Let me think about it.
I will keep it for you.
Thank you. It seems so much the right thing.
Didn't you see?
See what?
It has a crack.
I saw no crack. I only saw that it was beautiful.
That's the danger.
Danger to your marriage. Danger to your happiness.
To everything. You know how superstitious I am.
Yes, Papa, Donna.
Coccolino di papà, tesoro mio, tesoro mio.
Let's put him back. Oh, what a boy. Is it exactly how you imagined? Oh, I think it's even more wonderful. You must my father. He'll be so happy to see you.
Welcome to Fawn, Charlotte.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Berber.
Charlotte's boat train to Victoria was late, but here she is, safe and sound at last. She hasn't slept a wink, so I'm taking her straight to her room.
Good idea.
You can talk to her later.
Well, Maggie has put you in the red room. It has two wonderful Calumet views of the house. Unfortunately, they're not ours.
It's so good to have you here. For you'll be appreciated. For your love.
Oh, I'm sure Charlotte's appreciated wherever she goes.
You have the best room, and I promise you there are no ghosts in it. Here's Charlotte. She's extremely tired, so I'm tucking her straight into bed.
I don't want to go to bed.
Well, you'll have to visit later. You'll look very tired to me.
Your room is right this way.
You know what I think? That you're a tiny bit homesick.
I am at home.
Homesick for Italy. Naturally, you'd want to see Rome again. A grand Roman like you. There's no reason now we shouldn't go.
You mean now that Charlotte is here?
I would feel perfectly easy about leaving Father and the Principino in her care.
And Charlotte is very competent.
Yes, she's very practical. I suppose she's had to be. But she's romantic, too. Il re nei paesi.
Il re. Il re nei paesi.
Il re.
Devastati dalla lava.
We must go. If only to improve my abysmal Italian.
It would be so good to be in Rome. You and I. Alone.
That's really fine, Charlotte. Really fine.
Do you know who these ladies are? Mesdames de Qualité.
I've often wondered who they are. I don't know their names. They came with the house.
And what of the painters?
The painters. Well, they too shall remain nameless. Charlotte, come to the study. There's something I must show you. Come on. These are by Raphael. This is the very first drawing of his I ever bought. I've been lucky over the years. Now I have 5. They never come on the market anymore. This is my newest discovery. But is it by Raphael? Or is it by Perugino, his teacher?
It's beautiful.
Anyone would have wanted it. Don't you agree?
Yes.
I take these with me. Wherever I go. They make me feel at home in all the romantic places we live in. They're like old friends who can stay as long as they like. I've had a letter from a Mr. Guterman Seuss. He writes he has a very interesting set of Turkish tiles. I plan to visit Mr. Guterman Seuss. One never knows what one might not find. You know, before she was married, I always took Maggie with me. Couldn't leave her alone in the hotel. As you know, after her mother died, there was no one else, only she and I. So from the age of 10, she has visited every dealer in Europe, even some quite shady characters, buying and selling stolen goods in some little room in a back alley. These are the plans for the museum I'm building in American City. Would you like to see? My ambition is to create a Roman palace on a piece of barren wasteland. These are the galleries, medieval collection, Roman statuary. Oh, the good citizens of American City are not too pleased with the statuary. There's some talk of fig leaves, even putting brown paper swimming costumes on them. That's how they solved the problem with the Uffizi.
Ridiculous. They don't deserve your generosity.
Well, I guess they'd rather have a new gasworks in American City. That's where I got my start. From bituminous coal. It's a soft coal. Makes the best coking coal in the world. With the help of the immigrant labor, of course, stoking the ovens. They used to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, year after year. They never seen anything beautiful. All their lives long. I want to give them something. Give something back. More than lumps of black coal. I owe it to them. To bring to them all the treasures I can find. So I go bang for them. Like a pirate, I go on my raiding expeditions, ransacking and plundering. Get the loot and I hide it. I keep it here in Paris, Italy, some in Spain. Vaults, banks, warehouses. And one day I'll pack it up and take it all back home with me.
We'll all go here.
To the ungrateful citizens of American City. That's my plan for the future. I promised to take good care of you.
Maggie gave me the idea that it was the other way around.
Well, whichever the way, I know she'd be mighty glad that we're keeping each other company. She hates for me to be alone without her. She has this odd idea that she's forsaken me.
Well, I suppose that when a girl marries, she does, in a sense, forsake her father.
Maybe. In a sense. But I feel bad that she feels bad. About me. Oh, I'm keeping you up with all this talk.
No, not at all.
Well, we should get some sleep. Charlotte, I'm glad you stayed on.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
If I do go to Camberwell to see Mr. Goodman's Turkish tiles.
I might come with you. I would like that very much.
Wonderful. Good night, Charlotte.
Good night. You'd better prepare yourself.
I finally plucked up my courage and asked Charlotte to be my wife. And Charlotte, wonderful as she is, has answered, provided Maggie and the prince approve. So we shall be starting for Rome to obtain in person what we most anxiously hope and trust will be your consent. Our consent. And of course, we shall not miss the opportunity to take in all the new work at the Palazzo, of which you write such tantalizing reports. But they'll be here. What's the date? The 4th. They'll be here, I think, Wednesday. Thursday at the latest.
Maggie!
Charlotte.
Meg.
Do show Charlotte the Palazzo. She's never seen it.
I'm dying to be taken on a personal princely tour.
If you had seen it the way it was just 2 years ago, it's a miracle what has been done. Do show her.
And this is where the first Duke kept his museum of marries, in case you've forgotten. Whenever he returned from battle, he brought his captives back, killed them, and stuffed them with straw and dressed them.
Dear old Italy.
It's impossible to walk side by side with that hat. Not that it isn't absolutely splendid.
Present for my fiancé. But I haven't yet had your consent, or any word from you. Are you not pleased to be presented to the bouncing lady stepmother?
Oh, what you are doing will take great courage. Not only from you, but from both of us. It will take all our best intentions, Charlotte, for them. All our care. They're good and kind.
Of course. They're good children, and the children of good children.
You had some, remember?
Hello? Here they are. Hello?
They're certainly a handsome couple.
You call a stepmother and her son-in-law a couple?
Well, what else do you call them when they're seen together here, there, and everywhere?
I don't know what she thinks she's doing.
What do you expect her to do? Stay locked up in one of Mr. Verver's cabinets along with his other handsome pieces?
You lie.
Fanny, you say your husband is ill. You felt too ill to come.
No, dear. If he had been, I wouldn't have left him.
And yet Maggie looks worried.
She worries easily, you know.
At least about her father.
Don't you think it'd be more appropriate for his wife to worry about him than for his daughter?
Well, you know how things are with us. Father and daughter are happiest when they're alone. They're forever arranging for it.
I'll come to you in Cleveland Row.
No, I'll come to you in Carlton House Terrace.
They're like two children arranging a doll's tea party.
They love it. They're cozy together.
And where does that leave you?
To be cozy on my own, I suppose.
And the prince?
Well, we're in the same boat, you know.
You're naturally in Mr. Verver's boat.
Isn't the prince also in Mr. Verver's boat? Where would he be if he were not?
Where would you?
Precisely. But now where I am is fixed. Fixed as a pin stuck up to its head in a cushion.
Good evening. Signora, His Royal Highness has expressed a desire for your company. May I have the great honor of introducing you to His Royal Highness?
What in the world would His Royal Highness want with me?
You must go immediately. It's a summons.
They sent for Charlotte through you.
No, my dear, as you see, through the Italian ambassador.
That's your ambassador. She's treated as your appendage.
My appendage? Mia, what a name.
I have noticed before with you that you like to have a thing without liking to call it by its name.
Well, I am as ready as the next fellow to call a spade a spade.
Then let me name this spade. Mrs. Verver should be known less as your mother-in-law and a little bit more as her husband's wife.
You know, for that, Mr. Verver should be known a little more as his wife's husband. She's no one's appendage. She is a splendid, wonderful creature in her own right.
So is your wife.
Believe me, Carter, I know how fortunate I am in my wife, in my father-in-law, in my mother-in-law, and in my friend.
We are to be photographed. Come on. Are you composed, madam?
Yes.
Then we will expose. Excellent. And once more. That's perfect. Now, are you ready? Very well. Are you comfortable?
Yes.
Then I shall expose. Good. Next.
Oh, dear. Would you get that for me, Bob?
I've got it. I still don't see why you should blame yourself. He needed a rich wife, she a rich husband.
I introduced him to Maggie. I helped him because I trusted him. Still do.
Now, you made up your mind that it's all poor Charlotte.
If only she'd leave him alone.
Perhaps he doesn't want to be left alone. Don't forget the man's in a position where he has nothing in the world to do.
Poor dear little Maggie. I'm to blame. I should have told her.
That her husband and her friend had been acquainted. I never did understand why that had to be kept from her.
There are things in life that Maggie does not, should not know. Don't you feel that? One has to protect her innocence.
In that case, is it any wonder that the prince is bored with her? No man of sense would want to be married to an ignorant child. Come to bed.
Come to bed. That's your solution to everything.
Mary Queen of Scots.
Good afternoon, madam.
Thank you, Welcome.
Why have you come in a cab? Where's your motor?
I left it at home. I wanted to feel as I used to when I could do as I liked.
I don't remember that you ever liked knocking about in discomfort.
Seems to me I liked everything then. Anyway, it brings back the old feelings. They come back. They do. Everything comes back.
You must awfully want your tea. So let me give you a good, strong cup. Maggie has taken the boy to Cleveland Row.
As usual. They came before 11 and they're still there. I wonder what they think. What I'm doing. What becomes of me while they're so happy together? Or what becomes of you?
Well, of course, I'm happy that they are happy, and that they so adore my boy. And they'd have done the same for one of yours.
It will never be.
Never.
Never.
It would have been better for you.
It would have taken more than any child of mine. It would have taken more than 10 children, could I have had them, to keep our two spouses apart. It's strange, isn't it? The way you and I are so immensely alone.
Because they're so immensely together. Yes, it has struck me. Sometimes I feel instead of more, I understand less and less these people amongst whom I've married. Americans. They're too different.
You understand me?
No, you're the same as I am.
You mean Italian and terrible?
No. American and terrible.
And they?
They're simple. And they're good. That is why we have to protect them. Isn't that what we said in Rome we would do? Act together to care for them.
Yes, we have to act together. Heaven knows they do.
When you go home, where would you say you've been?
I shall say I've been here. Keeping you company in your solitude. What else, my dear? What in the world else can we do? Oh, your invitation to match them.
Would that be all, sir?
Thank you.
We got ours yesterday. We'll have a good time, I promise you. Those matching weekends are such fun.
Oh, packing for your weekend.
I hear you've cried off.
Maggie told you, did she? I asked her to. I didn't dare tell you myself.
Such a pity. She at least would have enjoyed it.
She's a very silly girl. She should go. I told her so. If nothing else, she shouldn't be depriving Amerigo of a good time.
Amerigo is going. I can't show up at Matcham by myself.
Should we be asking him to leave, Maggie? I'm sure he'd prefer to stay with his wife.
No doubt. But I can't very well carry the whole thing off by myself now, can I?
Charlotte? Would it matter so very much if you two did not go? No. Of course you must go. The whole world has to see you in all your splendor. It can't be wasted on just one husband.
Well, you know, Adam, we can't all hide ourselves away from the world. Someone has to go to these sort of things, whether we want to or not.
Oh, I know. Did you speak to him?
To whom?
Amerigo. What did he have to say?
About what?
About the two of you going to match him alone.
What could he say, since it was your wish, not his nor mine?
When you get there, everyone will feel very sorry for you that you are married to a jury husband who does nothing and goes nowhere. That's what they will say.
They can say what they like.
And we can do what we like. You're absolutely right. One should always follow one's own clear conscience. What about this one? This is beautiful. Shall we try it? Oh, yes.
I think he cheated.
How's it possible to cheat on a wife?
Italians can be very devious. One of his ancestors was a pope, and there are any number of foreigners, all of them with dozens of children. If that's not cheating, I'd like to know what it is.
With these grand Romans, it's ad Kaiser ad nihil, either Caesar or nothing. And we carry out for it. Win more tonight.
Bravo!
Bravo, Britain. Bravissimo. Well done. don't think Maggie and her father would like it here.
Well, if it's so bad for them, how can it be good for you?
You needn't be ashamed of me, Fanny. For 4 years, I've lived a life. I've taught the thoughts that best suited Maggie and her father. But there are times when I have to get out and stretch my legs a little.
You mean you need to have your own kind of good time?
No, you know, for that I wouldn't be. I'd be where I belong, in the air I was born to breathe.
So you still long
For Rome. What do you think? Every minute. Every bit of me.
I'm just sitting when the moon comes out. I hardly seem to know what I'm about. Skipping, hopping, never stopping. We can't stand still, although we try.
Are you sure? That was correct.
We may have been too low.
Making some games of...
It's all right, I feel confident.
When the moon comes creeping around the sky. Aggravating moons. Why?
Mr. Blind has a lovely voice.
Yes, but we need more practice. We're staying over tomorrow when everyone else goes out. Wouldn't it be fun for you and the prince to stay over with us? Just the four of us. Would you like that?
Well, it's then I feel a foolish sort of feeling coming on. I'm such a silly when the moon comes out. I hardly seem to know what I'm about. Skipping, hopping, never stopping. We can't keep still, although it's right. I want to quiver when the moon seems low. That is the moment when I long to dance. I can never close a sleepy eye. When the moon comes creeping round the sky.
Bob and I would be delighted to take any train that would suit you and the prince. I feel almost as if after all this time I've seen nothing of you.
Oh, that's awfully sweet of you, darling. But we've settled, Enrico and I, to stay over till after luncheon.
You were staying on?
Yes.
Yes, Charlotte promised our hostess. Rather a bore, since it means that I too must stay on.
You must stay with Charlotte.
Well, yes, I must see her decently home, as the Reverend Maggie would expect it, of course.
Of course.
You might do us one great favor.
Of course.
Leave word at Cleveland Road that we have been kept over, but that we shall be back in time for dinner.
I should do better than that. I should go straight from the station and report on the situation here for you and Charlotte.
That would be kind. Yes, you can tell them that we are bearing up.
You're bearing up.
Yes.
Good.
You needn't be afraid of Fanny.
It's you I'm afraid of, sometimes.
Don't be. She can very well go to your wife and say, I'm sorry, my dear, for arranging your marriage. I was mistaken.
She wasn't. She's right. Everything's right.
Then that's what I say. They're happy. We can be happy too. And if it didn't sound so very vulgar, I should say that we're safe. Good night, my dear.
Oh, is that you? It's like playing blind man's buff up here. The deuce only knows what anyone's up to. Oh, well. Good night.
Yes, good night to you and Fanny. Sleep well.
Oh, I sleep like a log. It's Fanny who lies there brooding.
Poor Fanny, what did she have to brood about?
Don't ask me. These are things far above my head. Metaphysics and psychology.
Were you talking to somebody? I heard you.
I must have been talking to myself again. Poor old man.
Don't you lie to me. There are enough people doing that already. What lies shall I tell Maggie tomorrow?
You don't have to tell her anything. You said one has to protect her innocence.
Yes, well, if she remains innocent much longer, she's going to lose her husband.
I don't think he really cares for Charlotte. Men don't when it's made too easy.
You have this extraordinary notion you know anything about men and women.
I don't. I leave all knowledge of the human heart to you. I'm only here to see that it doesn't land you in trouble.
I'm such a silly
Breathe deeply. After all.
I'm such a silly when the moon comes out. I always seem to know what I'm about. Skipping, hopping, never stopping. We can't keep still, although we try.
Are you looking for Charlotte? Because I think she's looking for you.
Hunting for you.
Don't be so naughty. Get on with your work.
My work is to teach you to play. I'm not so silly when the moonbeams shine. That's all I do. Can't keep still, although we try.
I don't want to quiver.
It's after 11 o'clock. And if we stop here for luncheon, then what becomes of our afternoon?
Why should we stop here for luncheon?
Our hostess.
Doesn't dream of our staying. She dreams only of Mr. Brent. That's Gloucester over there. There's a very fine cathedral. And anyone knows, whenever we have the chance, we stop to see cathedrals. I've discovered the name of the inn. There are two, but I've chosen the right one. You'll see.
You're terrible. How do you know so exactly what I'm thinking?
I know it 10 miles off because it's always what I'm thinking too. We have these harmonies.
Get your things. Get your things, quick. Hurry. Presto, presto.
Move on.
It has the tomb of some very famous king.
Oh, very interesting.
Richard II. Or was it Edward II? I know he was murdered in some particularly horrible and revolting way.
I thought it was only we Italians that did that.
Oh, you Italians. With your poisons and your daggers. We might not make it home in time for dinner.
They might not even notice. Could be left alone with a woman. And the woman such as you.
Adam and Eve. Before the fall. Goodness.
Why are you in the dark? Didn't you get a telegram that we'd missed the train?
Yes. It was so thoughtful of you to send it.
You've dined?
With Father.
We were together when your telegram came.
Oh, you have a new frock. It's very pretty.
You like it? I wore it tonight at dinner. For you. But you've dined.
On such horrors, we had an adventure.
Fanny told us what a success Charlotte was at Matcham. The beautiful, great, grand Mrs. Verver we're so proud of. And that Lady Castleby just could not bear to part with her and kept her over.
So that I too was kept over. I couldn't let her come back alone.
Of course not. Father said he did the right thing.
He did? Huh. I thought you would be asleep.
Oh, I couldn't. I missed you too much. Missed you.
Wait till you hear of our adventure.
Yours and Charlotte's.
Yes, we decided to visit the cathedral at Gloucester.
It's a magnificent cathedral, I believe. With cloisters.
Yes. And the tomb of an old king. The boys asleep?
Hours ago.
Which king?
Hmm?
Which king has his tomb at Gloucester?
Oh, is it Richard II or Edward II? I've forgotten.
No, wait.
Then what else?
What else? Besides stupidly missing the train.
Where did you dine?
At a very nasty little inn on something very nasty called, I believe, the Shepherd's Pie. English cooking. What did you do?
We were with Father. We stayed over at night.
Every night?
You were away Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We came back to Carlton House Terrace on Sunday thinking perhaps you might return a day early instead of day late. I had a strange dream on Sunday. It was a nightmare, really.
You were afraid and alone. You should have stayed with your father in Cleveland Row.
No, I wasn't afraid. And it began as a dream, not a nightmare. I was in a beautiful pagoda, all jeweled and plated with colored porcelain. I loved being there, and I was happy. I thought I was happy. But then something strange happened. I can't describe it. It was like some strange sound. No, it was a feeling more than a sound, like a warning. I tapped the wall, that beautiful porcelain, and then there was a sound. You know, the way you tap something with a key, and it gives out a certain sound that tells you it has a crack in it. It was like that, as if the pagoda had a crack in it. And that's when the nightmare began, because I thought I was trapped in there, and it would split apart into thousands of pieces and bury me alive. It seemed to be moving. But you know what frightened me the most? Was that Father would hear I was trapped in this terrible cracked pagoda, and I thought he mustn't know. He must not ever know of my danger. I must not cry out. And when I woke, I found I had stuffed the sheet into my mouth to stop myself from crying out, so that Father wouldn't hear anything.
And he asked absolutely nothing.
Not a word. The subject of where we had been, why we missed the train, was apparently of not the slightest interest to him.
What must he be thinking?
With him, who can ever tell? I believe even Maggie doesn't know what he thinks. She's with him now. Of course, we have no way of knowing what she's telling him, or what they're saying to each other.
About us?
About anything.
Why on earth did we meet in this place?
Because no one we know who knows us would ever dream of coming here.
Yes, we shouldn't be seen too much together.
Well, if we are, it's their fault, making us go everywhere together while they sit at home hatching their plans. This is their latest. My husband wants to take you, wife, on a trip to Spain to see a possible Goya he's heard about. Just the two of them in their old way together, leaving you and me.
In our old way together?
No, we mustn't be seen alone. And they mustn't be left alone. We must pair off in a different way.
So, what is your idea? You're so full of it.
My idea is simply that you should be more with my husband and I should be more with your wife. Only for a time.
How is it?
Yes, there's a possibility. Maggie told you.
Charlotte did. Said you were thinking of taking Maggie with you when you go to see it.
Yes, that's our plan, provided we have your permission.
That is what Maggie wishes.
Yes, of course. You would always do what your wife wishes. We are two ideal husbands, you and I.
Like scared, Granddaddy.
Oh, are you? No. You don't scare so easy, do you? Not like your poor old granddaddy.
I can't imagine you afraid, sir, of anything in the world.
Well, how little you know me. My heart's in my mouth all the time. Something might happen to this boy. Or to Maggie. She might be harmed in some way. I don't know of anything I might not be capable of in such a case. So I'm afraid. Afraid of myself, too. Of what I might do if she were ever hurt. Here's a funny story. This happened years ago in Paris, on my very first visit, honeymoon with Maggie's mother. We were in this restaurant, and a man sitting at another table was looking at my wife in the kind of way I really didn't like. So I grabbed a knife off the table and I rushed over to him. It might not have even been the steak knife. It was probably just the butter knife. I can still see his face, stupid with astonishment. I guess I thought I was going to stab him. And it was only when I felt my wife hanging on my arm that I lowered my hand and dropped the knife. She marched me out of there, apologizing to everyone left and right. First and last time in my life I failed to pay the check. And no one ran after us. I guess they were all scared to death of that crazy, wild American. Who is this Monsieur Veyfair?
Do nothing at all? What about this? He hates aspic. Why don't you try the goose egg?
What are these small birds?
I believe that's pigeon.
I'll have the goose.
Thank you. Has he said anything more to you about the Goya he wants to view in Spain?
No. Has he to you?
Perhaps, Charlotte, you would go with Father to Spain. Most willingly. I happen to like my husband's company. But I don't know that he would like mine in place of yours. I'm sure that's not true. It's hardly a secret, any more than that he married me not for my sake, not even for his own, but for yours. Perhaps Spain isn't the best idea just now. Unless he very much wants it. Unless you do. But of course, you would only want what he wants.
And Enrico.
Enrico?
My husband. I'd like to follow my husband's wishes too.
Do you know what they are?
Do you?
Maggie?
Oh, I'm dreadfully jealous. You bring your pretty wife here, not to us at Matcham? What have we done to be so horribly neglected by you and your father?
She's far too charming to leave at home, you know.
Next time I'm not going to let her off the hook. It's such fun. I love your dress.
Is it backhand?
Hello. Look at you. Turn around.
Delightful.
Now, I tell you it's nothing. Nothing but French. Charles Booth, that's Lucy Moncrief.
How do you do?
Come on, Charlie. Good time, Charlie.
She has the biggest diamonds and the reddest hair.
And the longest false eyelashes.
On the falsest eyes. I don't like her.
That is the first time I've ever heard you say you don't like someone. You should say it more often.
What are you two talking about?
You must all have had a very jolly time at Matcham.
Oh, he's a fearful bore.
But Gloucester, I'd have loved to have seen the cathedral with you.
Amerigo, we must take Maggie to Gloucester. Yes, we must absolutely all go. Architecturally, it's of tremendous interest.
And historically, too, I believe. With the tomb of some old king. Who was it?
Richard II.
Oh, was it? I thought it was Edward II. I must have been mistaken.
We should find our seats.
The Ritz. On Friday, 1 o'clock. Don't be late.
I won't. What does the Marmalade Cat want?
To find out what I may have found out about her. Well, she has no stone to throw at anyone else's window.
It's always a comfort to know about one's friends. Just as you can't throw any, Fanny.
What stone would I throw?
If you tried, it would come right back at you in the most horrid way.
being truant again.
Well, you know how I am with this modern noise. What is it anyway?
Gavrilka.
Mighty loud. Well, Meg, it looks like we won't be taking our little trip to Spain after all.
No. It wouldn't be fair to the others.
No. It wouldn't be fair to them.
But I do feel guilty about you and Amerigo.
Why? What have you done to us?
Keeping the two of you here in domestic harness with me and the Principino and Charlotte, when the two of you must be longing to get away on your own.
So, Meg, is it your idea then to realign us? With the Prince and myself on one side and Charlotte and you on the other?
Wouldn't it be fun? And how many couples are there who could even think of such a thing? Who are as fortunate as we are, the four of us, to get on so wonderfully well together?
Well, since we do, let me make another suggestion for a different harmony this summer.
Thank Lord that's over.
You didn't like it?
Excuse me. Thank you.
Oh, hello. I wonder what Fanny's thinking. Don't tell me. I know she's thinking something.
You said that Fanny doesn't matter.
Go in and take care of your wife. Come on, trust me. I know what I'm doing.
Do you? Do you? Then you are more fortunate than I am.
Everything's right, remember?
Maggie helped me escape the music of the 20th century. In the meantime, we've been sitting here, haven't we, Meg, hatching a diabolical plot.
Father thinks he would like to go down early to Fawn's this year, if that suits you two.
Perfectly. We could all leave together this very week, if that's what you prefer.
I prefer that you and I go first. Yes, this weekend, if you like. And stay there on our own for a while. Make the place habitable, as it were. What do you say, Charlotte?
Wonderful.
Good. Emery?
Yes.
Wonderful. See, Mag, how fortunate we are, the four of us. We're always in perfect agreement on every plan that is proposed. Did you like the dance?
Next. This stronghold, constructed in the Middle Ages upon the ruins of a Roman fortress, is where the famous, or should I say infamous, executions took place of the third Duke's wife and his son. The boy Hugo was the Duke's favorite, which prompted a jealous older brother to lead their father to Hugo and their stepmother, Parisina, where they were found in flagrante delicto. The lovers were at once seized and dragged to their deaths. The boy was 16, his stepmother twice that. The Duke was soon remarried to Eleonora of Aragon, who was only 11 years old. Next slide. The Castello may be seen for miles around.
What awfulness is there between them? Between my husband and my father's wife? Between them? What do you mean?
Anything there shouldn't be. Do you believe there is?
Caused his wife Parisina and his adored son Hugo, her secret paramour, to be beheaded. It was the fifth Duke who first assumed the title of Prince of Ugolini. He also took the name of Amerigo, after his famous seafaring kinsman.
Come with us to Vaughan's, Fanny, you and the Colonel. Don't leave me alone there, watching and guessing, trying to make out what lies I'm being told. Charlotte has changed towards me. She might not want us there. It is her house. It's my father's house.
The beautiful women upon whom his eyes are cast, he lures to love him and moves them in a wondrous way, more powerfully than the magnet influences iron.
Looks the sort of place where I just might find something odd and nice for Father's birthday. It is very pretty, but I'm not sure it would quite do for my father.
Her father's Adam Verver.
Oh, yes. The American collector.
You see, I wouldn't know how to give him anything that's, well, anywhere near good enough. But he has this very sweet theory that a present given out of affection is in a special category. He even has a special glass cabinet for just such gifts, and mine all figure in it, every single one of them going back over the years. Why do you say Charlotte has turned against you?
Perhaps I'm only imagining.
One doesn't imagine such things out of nothing, out of thin air. You must have some proof for your suspicions.
Do you have any fuels?
What's that?
Oh, it's something I've had for a long time. It's Byzantine. I've been keeping it for a lady who said she would come back for it. A lady and a gentleman, but be careful. Her husband or her fiancé. Oh, it must be more than 5 years now. 8th of July, 1903.
3 days before my wedding.
They have not returned, so I believe that I'm within my rights to say it is still the same.
How much is it?
£300.
It might be just the thing for Father's special cabinet. Would you send it to me?
It will be delivered tomorrow. It is an honor.
Where is Byzantium, actually?
They know I know.
But know what, for heaven's sake, my dear? That your husband and your stepmother have been intriguing day after day in your house and in your father's. Such a thought would be unbearable. One couldn't bear it.
One must bear many things for love.
Love of your husband or your father?
For love? So lonely without them. Without writing the Prince Pino.
And the prince. Oh, Lord, yes, how we miss the little family. But what a blessing, darling. We have each other. I brought these to show you. Here's where we laid the foundation stone. Took this building out between 4th and 5th Street. American City has brought an objection that the museum is encroaching on a new streetcar concession. It's all a matter of politics, the usual payoffs. And if necessary, I'll buy both sides of the street. But I'd like to be there. I can't leave it all to the architect.
Well, there's no reason why you shouldn't go.
Is there any reason why you shouldn't? If I were to go, say, next week, would you come with me?
Well, I'd like to immensely. But it wouldn't be very easy for us both to go on such short notice. And you wouldn't have to be gone very long.
How would it be if we did go for very long? And if we were to stay and start our work, our real work, Charlotte? You and me together. Not later, not at some future time, but now.
No! Couldn't bear to think of your collection. All your treasures to be buried out there.
You call it a burial? To go to American City?
For your treasures, yes. To be in a place where no one would or could appreciate them. It's like burying them in a tomb.
A tomb? My museum, a tomb, huh? Tombs can be very beautiful. You've seen pictures of the Taj Mahal, the tomb in India that an emperor built for his beloved queen?
Yes, after she was dead.
Of course. No one would dream of burying a queen while she was still alive.
It's not as if they have any use for it. They want their streetcar, not your museum.
They may not want it, but they shall have it. Charlotte, I've just asked for my supper in the study. I have a heap of letters to write. I hope you won't mind. Good night.
Good night.
You brought me the golden bowl. How kind of you.
Princess, a most extraordinary coincidence. I had told you that a lady and a gentleman had been interested in the same golden bowl. And now, I see here, the same lady and gentleman.
Are you sure?
They're not a couple one can easily forget, even after 5 years. It was my impression that they were an affiance, or perhaps a newly married couple. Each was trying to choose a present for the other. The lady liked my golden bowl, the gentleman did not.
To whom do I write the cheque?
A.R. Jarvis, Jarvis.
£300, you say?
No, Princess, forgive me. Half that sum would be quite sufficient. And that is why I came myself today. I felt I had to tell you that the bowl is cracked. Yes, the crystal is cracked. I could not leave you in ignorance to give such a present to your father. Princess, it has a flaw. So, £150 would be sufficient. I thank you, Princess. Good evening.
Good evening.
You look lovely, dearest. Much too lovely for our ambassador. Poor dear man. He still hasn't learned how to throw a decent dinner party. Ah, your father's birthday present.
It has turned out to be something quite different.
It is beautiful.
It seems so, but actually, it has a flaw.
A flaw? I can't see any flaw.
That's what's so deceptive. It has a crack.
A crack? You mean in the gold? How's it so heavy?
Well, it's crystal. And was once, I suppose, worth something.
And now?
Now it's just a gilded bowl with a crack in it.
I can't believe it. It looks so perfect.
Yes. A perfect fake.
Maggie, dear. What's wrong?
Do you remember that nice man told us in his shop about the couple who wanted to buy it? I think he said husband and wife, but he may have been lovers. He recognized them. And you remember the date? 8th of July, 1903. We talked about it in the shop. 3 days before our wedding. They were intimate, you see.
Well, it all depends what you mean by that.
What I mean is they were too intimate to let me know anything about it. Even to let me know they had ever met. And you knew nothing. Suspected nothing. Nothing. Darling Fanny, I know whatever you did or did not do, I know it was with the best intentions.
I tried hard. I tried hard to act for the best.
I'm sure of it. I believe you. But now the best you can do for me is to lie for me. To lie to Father, because he must not know.
But are you quite sure he does not know?
No. No, I'm not sure at all. All I'm sure of is that his very first thought is to keep me from being hurt. That's why he says nothing.
And you say nothing?
Yes, when I had only suspicions. But now that I have proof, now that this exists.
What if it did not exist? What if you had never found it?
But I did find it. And now it's there in all its ugliness. Look, put it down, Fanny. I can't bear to see it.
Reggie. If I may, I'll take your motor to the embassy and send it back for you. Prince?
Do you recognize it?
No.
It's the bowl you and Charlotte almost bought. In a little shop in Bloomsbury.
Oh, yes.
5 years ago.
Yes. Yes.
3 days before your wedding.
Which was also your wedding, my dear. That's the point.
The point of your excursion alone with Charlotte.
In search of a wedding present for you. She wanted so much to give you something. And there was this fellow in the shop trying to palm his bowl off on us. But I saw at once that it wouldn't do. That it was cracked.
But now it's mine. This present from you both.
What is it you want me to say?
Nothing more. This has said it all. So that I'm grateful that you left it in the shop for me to find. So that at last I can be sure.
Sure of what?
Of what I've been suspecting, doubting, fearing these many months.
And all this time you've said nothing? Nothing? God, you're deep.
Oh, no, you were deep. For 5 years you've said nothing. Not a word. Not even that you knew each other before. Even that was kept secret from me at the time of our marriage.
If I had told you, would it have made any difference?
To our marriage? Probably not. Because even then, as early as that, I knew I couldn't live without you, which you knew very well. You pretended to love me.
No.
And you pretended to love him.
No.
Why did he marry? Why did he? It was good before, with only the three of us and then our boy. We none of us needed her. Unless you did.
It's you I need. More than ever now.
You mean now that I know and have to shield you and Charlotte both? But it's not you I have to shield.
Has he said anything?
To me? Father would die first. His wife would know better than I. You should ask her.
As if I would.
But don't you ask her everything. Haven't I seen you both arranging together?
It's a shame. Fanny shouldn't have done this.
Fanny wanted to destroy the evidence. But it's no longer possible to be blind and stupid. Or for you to think so.
If I thought that, then it would be I who was very stupid. Tell me what you want.
I want a happiness without a hole in it. I want the bowl without a crack. have a birthday present for Father.
Let me find something. Maggie.
My dearest heart, you are in the next room, and I want to say this to you, and I cannot. So I'm writing to you, not like your husband, but like a lover, too full of love and fear to speak out. My life is only you, nothing but you. I have no words in English, and not even in Italian. So hold my letter in your hands, hold it, and keep it. Please, hold and keep me.
Would you pass me the towel, please?
Afraid Daddy wouldn't let us bathe Olmo. He's been worrying all day about Olmo having some dog disease.
Where is he?
Olmo, he's in the bow room being made a fuss of. Go and tell Amerigo that dogs sometimes don't feel like playing, not because they're sick, but just sleepy and lazy. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get your feet and your paws and your tail.
Ever since you came, you and I haven't had a moment alone together. Has she said anything to you?
Has who said anything?
Who? Your wife. Has she spoken to you?
Well, naturally, a husband and wife do speak together.
Has your husband said anything to you?
My husband speaks only to your wife, you know that. But still, there is something. Something. Enrico. Answer me. Has she said anything to you about us? What has she said?
She said nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
She hasn't found out.
Found out what?
Has Fanny told her anything?
Why? What should Fanny know to tell?
I don't trust Fanny.
You should. She's been a very good friend.
Very good friend to both of us. To father and daughter. Not to us.
Us?
You and I. It's all there is for me. You and I. As if you've never married, I've never married. And there are only those weeks we had together in Rome. When you loved
Charlotte. Charlotte, that's all in the past. In the past.
In the past, is it? Buried and forgotten. That's how it is. It's easy for you. You can just turn away and smoke your cigarettes and play with your child or your dog.
You yourself were always saying to me that we had to be careful, that no one must suspect.
Was she?
I told you no, no.
Are you telling me the truth?
Don't you trust me? Charlotte. Came in the mail, offered privately.
Isn't that the Raphael that was in the Royal Collection at Windsor?
Quite right, you've learned something.
Living with you, I could hardly fail but to learn. How much longer are the Assinghams staying with us?
I hope as usual they're here for a good long visit. Fanny calls herself our regular boarder.
But as you know, we have a great many visitors coming to us next week.
Well, we have a great many rooms.
Adam, I feel uneasy about Fanny.
I don't understand.
Fanny has changed towards me. And I feel as if she is trying to change Maggie, too. As if she were telling her things about me. Imaginary things, of course. Lies, for all I know. Forgive me. It may be I who am imagining things.
Maybe.
But I can't help it. Because I feel she has been successful. Fanny has been successful in influencing Maggie and changing her toward me.
Maggie would never change. She is steady and true.
I know it better than anyone. Since childhood, we've been each other's closest friends.
She wouldn't know how to betray, dissemble, or lie, except to protect those that she loves. And then I guess she can tell lies and pretend along with the best of us. If Maggie were to change toward a friend, it would not be for a mere slander. It would be for something truly terrible, truly unforgivable. The Raphael at Windsor is a miniature reduction. The original was sold after the execution of Charles I and went into the collection of Cardinal Mazarin.
And now you're buying it?
I'm thinking about it, but they want a great deal of money.
Are you sure it's genuine?
You know I never act until I'm sure.
I had a sad letter from poor Isabel Brinkerhoff. She's still in Venice with that fearsome husband. What's his name?
Felt.
I'd love to help her get away from him. But what can anyone do? I'm afraid she's made her bed.
Don't be scared of Maggie giving away any secrets. She doesn't know one card from another. I tried to teach her for years, but I gave up in despair.
I used to play whist with the aunt.
Whist, Fanny?
Whist. She told me she warned the uncle not to leave all that money to poor Isabel, as the girl would only fall prey to some dreadful fortune hunter. And of course, that's exactly what happened. But what no one foresaw was that the dreadful fortune hunter would turn out to be an American and not the usual impecunious Italian.
It's your turn, Prince.
I was looking for you.
It's so close indoors.
Yes. Even out here. There may be a storm.
Yes, perhaps we should go in.
Look at your father. One wouldn't ever want to disturb or distress him. I know you feel the same.
You're right. I do feel it.
Maggie, have you any complaint against me? Have I hurt you in any way? I've turned this way and that, trying to think of what I could have possibly done against you. What wrong have I done you? Perhaps I've been mistaken. You have been mistaken. How you relieve me. You see, I had to speak out. It's in my nature.
I accuse you of nothing.
That's lucky.
I have never thought of you as anything but beautiful, wonderful, and good.
As I have thought of you, my love. Will you kiss me on it? She doesn't know a thing. You saw her kiss me?
Oh, yes, I saw. You're very foolish, Charlotte. You don't understand.
Good night.
Good night.
Are you coming to bed?
No, I need some fresh air. It's too close inside the house tonight. It's stifling.
might shriek as loud as he liked, she took no notice of him. Then she went to Gretel and shook her till she woke and cried, "Get up, little lazy bones, fetch some."
What's happening? Why are you here, darling?
Well, there was a tiger under his bed, so he had to come into ours. Fetch some water and cook something nice for your brother. He is in the stable and has to be fattened. When he is nice and fat, I eat him. This is a sad story.
It's his favorite. When the children are lost in the dark forest and are eaten by a witch. He only likes stories where terrible things happen.
It comes from living where there is no sunshine, no blue sky. Not our kind of blue. It would be wonderful, wouldn't it, to take him to Italy?
Father couldn't live without the Principino.
Or without you. Or you without him. And I would never ask that. You know I would not.
Not even if you wanted it terribly. If you wanted it more than anything.
Not unless you wanted it more than anything.
Let's take him to bed. Oh, my gosh.
Go away, Maggie. You've been doing that since you were a little girl, and you have yet to fool me. Come here. Look here. These stairs are too narrow, are they not?
They do seem somewhat narrow for the building.
Yes, I want to widen them so that people can sit and relax, converse, enjoy the sun. These are too narrow. Well, all the stairs are too narrow.
You should be in bed, my dear sir, not in here thinking about your museum.
I never stop thinking about it. I dream about it. It's my work, what I've staked myself on.
You see, that's your greatness. Your great motive. While all I have is my own selfishness.
I'll believe that when Amerigo complains of you.
But don't you see, it's he who is my selfishness. My selfish motive for everything I do. I love him so that I'd die for him. I love him so that it's horrible. So you see, for him, which is really myself, I've just simply given you up. Sacrificed you. I might as well have just shipped you back to American City.
See here, Meg. You go on like that, you'll make me wish I had shipped back to American City. In fact, you make me quite want to ship back myself. You make me quite feel as if American City would be the best place for us. For me and Charlotte.
So now you're offering up the two of you as victims to my selfishness.
Oh, young lady, I'll let you know the day I feel myself to be your victim. In the meanwhile, I'll do whatever I think is best.
Best for whom?
For you.
Of course. Always, always for me. But what about you?
I can take care of myself. And my wife. Don't you believe in me?
More than in anyone. And that's the way I think you believe in me.
Yeah. About the way. Yes.
Well then.
Well then.
They don't own us. One can't be shipped off with all their goods where and when they please.
No one is shipping you off, Charlotte. You're going away to take your rightful place. You were born for it. You can carry the torch of civilization, like the Statue of Liberty. I mean it. Your husband is giving you a great future.
There is no future for me except to be with you. Listen, I'm
ready to leave this house tomorrow. Today, with nothing the way I came. We can go anywhere.
Don't you understand? I love my wife. I love Maggie more every day. It's different from anything before.
You're lying to me. You've always lied to me.
No, not to you, but to her. And it will take me a lifetime to get the taste out of my mouth of those lies. Dishonor. Charlotte, the dishonor. Dishonor.
This charming Cupid, Asleep on a Dolphin, dates from about 1766, and it's by Joseph Nollekens. I think there's something very attractive about Nollekens' classical imitations, which we could compare to, say, a musician's variations on a borrowed theme.
I would also like to point out that the marble boy rests on a stand.
American City. The very name sounds like Dunda, like some Indian trading post on the Oregon Trail.
And on the right, Rebecca at the well. We think it's Giacomo Cavadoni.
She sees it all before her. She can't speak or resist or move a little finger.
The subject is peasants having a good meal, 1600s.
All this is leaving for America.
You want to ask some questions in Parliament. Make it a call, celeb. Don't these things belong in the British Museum?
Used to be only thieves and murderers that were transported overseas.
Now it's the portraits of your ancestors.
I think you will all agree with me when I say that this life-size portrait of King Henry VIII by Hans Holbein dominates all the other pictures in this room. Holbein presents the most striking depiction of royal authority in English art. But to me, it's also a chilling portrait of the masculine ego in all its brutal physical strength and hardness. The subject matches the cold hardness of Holbein's style here, which brings out so well the king's defiance of all who stood in his way, including his numerous women, who one by one went to their doom. Please. Americo, why don't you go out to her?
No, you're right, of course. I should do it. I owe it to her. She ought to understand you better. Charlotte hasn't begun to know you.
Then I hope she never will. I hope that she'll never guess that it was I who asked Father to take her away. If you won't go to her, I shall.
What will you say to her?
It will depend on what she will say to me. Whatever she can find to save her pride. Anything to make her a little less unhappy. It's only one more lie.
Let it be the last, my dear.
Wait. I thought you might find this interesting. I read something by the same author. I found it rather contrived. But I'll try this. You might like some of the social scenes. They're well done. I'm tired. Tired of this life you've been leading. I know that you like it, that it suits you. But it doesn't suit me. I told my husband, our real life isn't here. His and mine. That's why I decided to take him home. So it was your decision? Mine entirely. I told him, what's the use of us staying here in England? Our work is there, waiting for us in American City. You see, I'm very selfish. I place my husband first. Well, since that's where I place mine,
I'm taking him away from you.
You're taking my father away?
You've always been jealous of our marriage. From the very beginning, you've tried to come between us. But I mean to keep the man I married. I want to have him at last a little to myself. Far away when you can no longer work against us.
If that's what I've done, then I appear to have failed.
You have failed. I'm glad to hear you admit it.